Hi everyone, welcome to Lola's Frugal Life. This is episode number 165. Today we're going to be talking about digital minimalism. So please stick around for a few quick words from our sponsor and we'll get right into the show. Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. If there is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional counseling done securely online. There is a broad range of expertise available, which may not be available to you locally. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/Lola, that's better HELP, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Lola's Frugal Life listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Lola. Hi everyone, so today I wanted to talk about digital minimalism. But before we get into the topic, I wanted to share my frugal tip of the week, since this is not a frugal topic episode. So I always like to keep some type of frugal aspect to each episode. So this week's frugal tip of the week kind of ties into this week's topic anyway. And the frugal tip is to unsubscribe from marketing emails that will likely tempt you to purchase things that you had no intention of buying. So don't worry, even if you unsubscribe, you will be able to find the product if you really want to make a purchase. It's not like you won't be able to find their websites. So for some people, that's, you just ignore emails. But for some people, it's definitely tempting, especially if these are some of your favorite vendors that you're getting these emails from. If you love Yankee Candle, for example, and you see an email that they're having a buy one, get one free sale, even if you don't have the money set aside, you might think, oh my gosh, I really should get it because it's such a great deal. And it can really be tempting for some of us. So that's the tip. Just try and unsubscribe from some of those marketing emails that you think might tempt you into buying things that you don't necessarily want to buy right now. Okay, so digital minimalism. So where I first heard of digital minimalism was, I guess a little over a year ago, I had seen a recommendation to read Cal Newport's book, which is called Digital Minimalism. And it sounded interesting to me, so I decided to listen to the audiobook. And I really liked it. It's been a little over a year since I listened to it, so it's hard to remember like all the detailed information that he had kind of gone through when I listened to the book. But I still thought it was a good idea to do the topic, just to kind of get you thinking about it if it's something that you haven't really thought too much about in the past. So his definition is, here's his exact definition. Digital minimalism is a philosophy that helps you question what digital communication tools and behaviors surrounding these tools add the most value to your life. It is motivated by the belief that intentionally and aggressively clearing away low-value digital noise and optimizing your use of the tools that really matters can significantly improve your life. I totally messed up that quote, but I think you can know what I'm saying. I read some of the parts wrong, but basically what he's saying is digital minimalism is really just about looking at the technology and the tools that you have and making sure you're using them to the best benefit to yourself, and you're not winding up wasting time with them. It's really about trying to minimize it's kind of like how we minimize our stuff, but you want so that we only try and keep the things we really love and use the things that give us the most benefit. It's the same exact thing, but in a digital way. It's not about not using technology. It's about using technology to get the best use out of it and not letting you get sucked into scrolling Facebook or email for hours each day. It's really, it's just like how we try to be intentional with our money. It's about being intentional with your time that you're using that you're spending on a digital device. If you have an iPhone, or I'm sure obviously Android and other devices have something similar too. On iPhone, it's called screen time. I bet you that many of you, probably not all of you, because some of you are probably better than others at trying to keep away from the phone, but I was really surprised, and I bet some of you will be too, if you go to that screen time app and look and see how much time you've actually spent on your screen. It's pretty amazing. I was pretty surprised. And it's not about not allowing yourself any downtime to play a game or watch a video or scroll through social media posts. That's fine. I mean, downtime is okay in any situation, whether it's digital or not. It's more about just realizing when you're doing it and acknowledging the amount of time you're spending and making sure that you're okay with that. These apps are designed to get you to spend your time in them, even if it's more time than you really want to be spending doing those things. And it's not even just like, a lot of times this is all focused around the social media stuff, but I just wanted to point out that you can get addicted to clicking on any types of apps, even not time wasters, like that you would traditionally consider time wasters. For example, I don't know how many times I click on my banking app and look at the balances and look at the activity. It hasn't changed since an hour ago because I haven't left the house, but yet here I am checking my balance and checking the activity and checking my credit card just to make sure I didn't buy anything that I forgot about, that I didn't record on my budget. I check these things, and it's a bad habit. It's a habit that I just pick up the phone and I click on the checking, and I'll look at it, and I'll click on the credit card, and then maybe I'll click on Facebook, or I'll click on email, or I'm clicking on those other things too. But it's not all the things that you're traditionally trying to stay away from. I'm just clicking and checking things that don't even need to be checked because I've already checked them at least a few times earlier in the day. So it's those kind of things that we really kind of want to get ourselves mindful to, and only spend the amount of time that is causing us to not waste our time on using these apps and making what we wanted to be a good tool, turning it into something negative in our life. So some ways we can try to work towards being more minimal digitally is, one thing is to try and make it a habit to declutter digital on a regular basis, just like we do with real things, that we try and declutter things we're not using anymore. Same thing with our digital items. So you might want to delete junk mail once a day, because if you don't keep up on it, it can get overwhelming, and it can cause stress to look at this email box that has like a gazillion emails unread in it, because they're junk, but you also know that there could be some important emails in there at the same time. But you don't want to spend all day clicking in the email, just deleting stuff. So maybe you take like a few minutes at the end of the day or the beginning of the day. I would say probably at the end of the day, because you don't want to get sucked into the email at the beginning. But anyway, just kind of going in and deleting that junk mail. Delete any unneeded photos and screenshots. Oh, sorry, just about the email. I shouldn't just say junk mail. Delete old emails that you don't need anymore. If you made a purchase, 6 months ago and you still have the receipt in there and it's fine and you don't need to return it, like just delete that stuff. You don't want to take up all that storage, and you just don't need to see all those old emails that aren't relevant anymore. So that's email. Delete unneeded photos and screenshots. I know I take screenshots a lot. Maybe I want to send someone a picture of something I saw on a website, or I don't know, there's many different reasons. I take a screenshot on my phone, I text it to someone. After you send it, don't forget to go in and delete that screenshot, because if you don't, now it's going to be part of your photos that you're going to need to sort through when you download the photos from your phone onto your computer or wherever you store your photos. Also, delete any unused apps. We all try apps, I don't know if we all, but a lot of us try apps that we don't wind up liking or using or whatever, and they just take up space on your phone. They take up space on the screen, and it makes your your phone look more cluttered when you have all these apps on pages and pages that you don't really use. So just take some time occasionally just to kind of look through and see what's on your phone or on your computer, even if you have any programs on there that you don't use anymore. that you never will use, and then just get rid of them. It just makes things nice and organized and saves you space on your device also. You also want to try and organize your digital information if you can to make it look less cluttery. Like for example, on your phone, you can organize things in categories to make it easier to access them when you do need them. Like some categories I have on my phone is banking. Like I have all banking type apps in one folder on my phone. It's like my checking, my 401k. I have a link to that. My credit card, like anything like that that's like banking or finance related, I have in one folder so I could just access them right at the same time. Everything for like groceries, from like my meal plan app to my shopping list app, grocery store apps, like I have an app for BJ's where I can add coupons, things like that. Like anything related to groceries, it's all right there. So just maybe try and think of some ways that you can categorize the apps on your phone if you haven't already done that, just to make it easier to get to and not have to, scroll past other things that you might wind up clicking on that you weren't really intending to spend time doing as you're, for whatever use you were actually picking up the phone for. Also, another tip is to turn off notifications on your phone for things except for what you really need to be reminded about. The other things you can check on when and if you want to. Like for example, Facebook notifications. It's not really urgent that you know that someone made a post on Facebook, or that, maybe, I don't know what other apps I'm trying to think. Like, I think my meal plan app, maybe. I don't know. I know there's some other apps that give you reminders for different things, ask you to check in. I always turn all of those off just because I don't like seeing reminders pop up unless it's something that I truly need to be reminded about. It just, it kind of stresses me out almost, like when I see these things popping up. So definitely a tip is to stop those notifications, because they're also going to, if it's something that you really are tempted to go into, seeing those notifications is probably more likely to tempt you to go into that app, even if maybe you didn't want to yet at this time. Another tip is that if you do use social media, consider who you're following. And I don't mean this in a bad way at all. But the thing is that if you're following a lot of people that you're only kind of casual friends with, or you just kind of know a little bit from some situation or whatever, just think about the amount of time that you need to take scrolling through their posts to get to ones that you might really want to see, like from your close friends and family. It's taking time. Even if you're not really paying attention to what they posted, you're still taking that time to scroll past them. So maybe just, you could still remain friends with them, but you can block their posts, and they don't know that you blocked their posts. It's just so that you can scale down your social media feed, or whatever it's called, to only really see the people that you're really close to. So you could just go in there, look real quick, see what your close friends and family are doing or what they posted or whatever, and then just get out. You don't need to know what the girl that you worked with once had for lunch today. It's just taking up time that you could be doing something else with. So maybe just try and think about who you have on your social media, and maybe just limit what you're seeing in your feed so that you can make better use of your time and just see what you really are interested in seeing. If you feel the need to pick up the phone and click on stuff, try to make it a habit to click on something more productive as your first choice. Like maybe you have a to-do list you can click on, or like I have a Strides app that's like a habit tracker, and it shows the things that I haven't done yet for the day. Just to kind of like reset my brain to like get away from the phone and try and do some of these other things that I have to do. Or sometimes I'll click in like my Fly Lady app and see like, can I do like some zone cleaning, or who knows, whatever. Try and redirect yourself from clicking into those social media apps, or even, like I said, the banking that I always constantly go in and check, or the email or whatever. Just kind of try and retrain yourself to see if you can limit that tendency to just pick up and look at these things. Then another tip is to try to keep your digital files organized so that they don't make you feel overwhelmed. Some of these things could be like photos, your budget files, maybe you have recipes on your computer, any like digital receipts, maybe you paid something online that's important, like property taxes or motor vehicle registration or something like that. You want to have your files organized on your computer or on whatever device you're storing them on, just because it can kind of, again, make you feel like overwhelmed and a little stressed when you go to find something that there's just files like all over the place. So try and keep them as neat and simple and organized as possible. So a few things that I've tried to do recently to try and help get to be more minimalist when it comes to technology is on my phone, I set a time limit for email and for Facebook. Because those were two things that I was going into, I felt like I was going into too much and just kind of scrolling when I was bored. So what I did is I set a 10-minute time limit for each, no more than 10 minutes a day in email and no more than 10 minutes a day on Facebook. And what's good about it is that it doesn't actually block you. Like, say if it's 11 minutes and I was in the middle of reading not an important post, but maybe something that someone posted that I really wanted to read, or maybe I wanted to comment on, or who knows, whatever. You can ignore the limit. It's not like you're literally blocking yourself out. But for the most part, when it says I've reached my time limit, it's a reminder to me that, okay, you've spent 10 minutes in this app already. And I know I don't want to spend more than 10 minutes in email or in Facebook each day unless I'm doing something really important. So it's more just a notifying me that, okay, you've done the 10 minutes here, and then I can make a decision. Do I want to continue more time so I can just finish this one thing, or do I need to get into the email because I have to send this important email and I'll just go in and get out? So it's really more just like to let yourself know that, hey, you've spent this much time. And if I click onto Facebook and I'm past my time, it doesn't show Facebook. It just shows a screen that says, I forget, it says like time limit or whatever. I forget exactly what it says, but it's basically blocks you out. And usually when I see that, unless it's something really important I need to do, I just say, oh, okay, I already used up my time today, and I'll just close it. But like I said, if I did need to get in there for some reason, like say for example, I was working with, a lot of times I'll message local people that do work, like maybe a plumber, or like we just had someone clean our chimney the other day, and I messaged them on Facebook. So maybe it's later in the afternoon, I've already used my 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh shoot, I got to message that guy on Facebook about this service we need to have done. So in that case, I would just click on the app. I would click ignore limit. You can choose a minute, 15 minutes, or ignore for the day. I never do ignore for the day. I usually do 15 minutes because if I'm in the middle of typing an email or a message to someone, I don't want it to cut me off after 1 minute if I'm still typing. So I usually just say 15 minutes. I'll send the thing I want to send, but then I just won't go back in again. So it's really just about like being mindful about how much time you've spent, and then making the choice after that. Like, do I really want to spend more time in here? Is this really important? Or should I just say like, okay, no, this isn't important. I've reached my time limit. I'm done with this app for the day. So that's one thing I've tried doing. So if you have any apps that are particularly challenging for you, where you feel like you get sucked into them, maybe consider, setting a time limit for yourself. And I'm sure most phones do that. I would like to say that I've unsubscribed from emails to thin down my email box, but one time I tried to do this and I spent an enormous amount of time clicking unsubscribe on almost every single email that I got in that was junk for days, and I had no impact. So this was probably a couple years ago. I'm going to start trying again. I get so many junk emails, I can't stand it. And I don't hardly get any real emails, but I do get enough that I do need to check it. So I feel like it's such a time waster because I have to go into the email and I have to spend time deleting all this junk. And I can't stand spending the time doing that, but I don't know any other way to manage it. So I'm going to try again to get rid of those subscriptions that I somehow got on for these emails. I'm going to try and unsubscribe again. I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is just pick like maybe one or two at a time and then just see if it worked. Like if I got another email from that company, and if it does, then maybe I'll try a few more. But I don't want to sit there again taking like hours of unsubscribing just to find out that I saw no impact on my inbox. I'm wondering if maybe they just transferred it to send me a different one instead. Like say if it was from, I don't know, you get like those weird ones like welovefood.com or something like that. Maybe they just changed it to one of their other offshoots. I don't know, but if anyone has any good tips on doing that, on getting your email box thinned down so that you don't get all these junk emails, I would love to hear how you manage that. So that's kind of it. I mean, basically, digital minimalism is really just about thinking about how you're using technology, being mindful about it, and managing your digital life to make it a benefit for you and not cause you to waste time and feel bad about not getting things done because you spent too much time using technology not in a helpful way. It's really about keeping your digital information organized, removing unneeded information so that you can more easily access the things that are important to you. And there are so many great ways to use technology to enhance your life. It's just good to think about how you're using it once in a while and make sure you're really using it to your best benefit. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget you can reach me at facebook.com/Lola's That's our main page. We also have a private listeners group, which is at facebook.com/groups/Lola's I'd love to have you join if you're interested. We talk about topics related to the show and zone cleaning and all that kind of stuff. I also have a new email address, lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. There's no apostrophe if you'd like to just send me an email for any reason. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this show. And if you would be kind enough to leave me a 5-star rating, if that's available on the app you listen to, I'd really, really appreciate it. I keep hearing that those ratings really make a big difference in where the show shows up in search results. So that'd be really helpful to me. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a really awesome day.